This is the Infinix GT 20 Pro, or should I say the ROG phone on a budget. Be it this bag, the gaming features, or these accessories. You can buy this phone under 25,000, but the question is, should you? Well, in this video, I'll tell you both the good and the bad. So let's get started. Since it's a gaming phone, let's start with cameras. Just kidding guys, let's start with the gaming and performance. The phone is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 8200 Ultimate, and the unit that we have with us comes with 8GB of LPDDR5X RAM and 256GB of UFS 3.1 storage. There's also a dedicated gaming chip to enable gaming features, but I'll talk about that in a bit. First of all, in BGMI, the gameplay is pretty smooth with 80+ FPS most of the time. There's also 90 FPS support in COD Mobile, and the gameplay is pretty good. In demanding games like COD Warzone, the FPS is around 40 with medium graphics, but the phone performs pretty well in Genshin with constant 60 FPS with the highest settings. In Grid Autosport, you are stuck with 30 FPS, but the gameplay is decent. Also, the phone was only around 42 degrees even after 30 minutes of intense gaming, and with the cooler attached, the temperature dropped to 37 degrees, which is very good. This cooling fan really does the trick, but you can only use it with the case, and it's powered by a Type-C port, so you have to game like this. I wish the phone had a Type-C port at the bottom like the ROG 8, that would have made things easier. Now let's talk about all the gaming features that this phone brings. First of all, you get frame interpolation, which gives 120 FPS in BGMI, COD Mobile, and even Genshin, and it makes a lot of difference in smoothness. HDR graphics makes the game look richer, and you also get bypass charging, which is nice to have. There's also immersive sound that enhances certain sounds in the game, but it doesn't really do much. Lastly, you also get the tilt controls here. If you're wondering about air triggers, well, you don't get it here, although you can use volume up and down buttons, but they are positioned in such a way that it's not practical to use them anyway. Now that we have talked about gaming, let's talk numbers and see how it fares against the competition. In Antutu, Infinix reaches around 9.5 lakhs, while the Poco X6 Pro is still miles ahead with a score of 1.4 million, with GPU scores being the big difference. In Geekbench, Infinix scores more in single core and comes pretty close in multi-core too. The GPU difference also gives an edge to Poco in 3D Mark, but Infinix maintains a 99% stability even without the cooler, which is very impressive. Lastly, in CPU throttling, both phones do fairly well, but Infinix runs slightly cooler. We also ran benchmarks on the GT 20 Pro with and without the cooler, and the scores were pretty much the same both the times, but the temperatures were down by almost 7 degrees with the cooler attached. Apart from gaming and performance, this phone performs really well in day-to-day tasks. I did not face any issues or weird bugs, and the best part is that this phone is completely ad-free. There are no bloatwares at all, although there are some Infinix apps, but that's okay. Even the setup process for this phone was not trying to trick you at any steps, so that was pretty good. Now, it's not just the clean experience. You also get useful features such as peak proof, unlock capture, smart hub, and even a repair mode. By the way, it's running on XOS for GT based on Android 14, and it's promised to get 2 OS updates and 3 years of security patches. And for the rest of the phone, the design stands out for sure. The GT 20 Pro has an industrial boxy design with an addition of RGB light on the back, which you can customize if you want. The back and the sides are plastic. You get the usual ports and buttons on all 4 sides along with IR sensor, but you do not get the headphone jack, which is very important for a gaming phone. I think Infinix should have kept the headphone jack on this one. Lastly, the phone is IP54 rated and weighs 194 grams, but doesn't feel very heavy in the hands. And when it comes to the display, you get a 6.78-inch 144Hz AMOLED display with a peak brightness of 1300 nits, and also comes with NEG glass protection. The display is pretty bright even outdoors, and the 144Hz refresh rate is a big plus in this segment, but none of the major games support this yet. The bezels are very narrow, and the in-display fingerprint scanner placed at the bottom works well. You also get dual speakers tuned by JBL, and they go pretty loud, but unfortunately there is no HDR support on Netflix. And yeah, the haptics are very well tuned on this phone. In terms of cameras, you get a 108 megapixel main camera with OIS, but the other 2 sensors, well, let's not talk about them. The photos that come out from this phone also don't look that good. Although this phone can shoot in 4K 60, but as you can see, OIS doesn't kick in here. On the front, it's a 32 megapixel sensor, but the selfies don't have much details. Lastly, this phone packs a 5000 mAh battery with a 45 watt PD charger in the box. I played games on this for 3 hours straight, and the battery was still at 50%, so this should easily last you a full day. And for connectivity, there's Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.3, 14 5G bands, and even NFC. Here's what I like about the GT 20 Pro. It brings a standout design specifically aimed at gamers, which to me is a very confident approach by the brand, not trying to please everyone. Very good gaming performance with some additional features that you don't generally see in other phones. A nice and bright 144Hz display, a clean software experience, and a set of gaming accessories to complement the overall gaming experience. And here's what I don't like about it. It does not have a a headphone jack or the expandable storage option, which is something that gamers want. The cameras seem placeholder, and not having air trigger seemed to me like a missed opportunity. It's time for the final thoughts. See, if you're into gaming and that's what matters to you the most, then you can definitely consider the Infinix GT20 Pro because it brings some additional gaming features and it also has some gaming accessories to go with it. But if you want a simpler looking phone that can take some good photos and better benchmark numbers help you sleep better at night, I think Poco X6 Pro is still a very good option. So that was it from my side. If you guys have any more questions about the Infinix GT20 Pro, drop them in comments and we'll answer them. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.